You really think that's what it said?
There's a A-S,
That's at RAM. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Strong and Simple Podcast, where Michelle critiques my cursive.
Well, I was trying to read it.
Yeah.
Because it's notes.
It's notes. There's top secret.
Top secret notes.
They're in my code.
Which is, they're in this code called cursive.
Cursive.
What are we talking about today?
Orgasms, apparently.
I mean, okay.
Oh, wait, no, that says program, right?
Program.
Right. We're doing a diet deep dive in honor of this particular diet going out of business at the end of the year.
Woo! Oh, it's still gonna try to ride it out for the rest of the year?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure. Because if you go online, their website's still active. And you can somehow still enroll.
It's going to be a short-term enrollment.
It is. So
unless, are they going to try to roll people over into something new?
So I think Nutrisystem owns or bought the Jenny Craig meal plans. Oops, I spoiled it. We're talking about Jenny Craig.
Jenny Craig. Who is this lady?
So actually a real person.
I mean,
Jenny Craig was named after Jenny Craig. So Jenny became interested in fitness when she was trying to lose weight after pregnancy. Tale as old as time. She actually owned a gym.
Okay.
But she was genuinely into fitness, owned a gym, and then sold that gym and joined another facility called Body Contour Fitness Center, which was run by Sydney Craig, hence Jenny Craig. They got married in 1979.
Cute.
In 1983, the Craigs sold Body Contour to a subsidiary of Nutrisystem and used that money to start Jenny Craig in 1983. Because of a year-long non-compete agreement that they had because of that sale, they couldn't launch in the US. So they started Jenny Craig in Australia as a diet program, and they brought it to the US in 1985. And it rapidly expanded into 114 countries and operated on a franchise model. And their success really stemmed from their advertising. They advertised very, very heavily. They actually had a requirement for how much of their budget franchises had to spend on advertising.
Oh, fascinating.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that we had talked about this in one of the other deep dives. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Herbalife, when we talked about how they were able to expand into other countries so rapidly. Mm-hmm. When it's my understanding that it's actually really hard to expand into other countries. I mean, they're not necessarily selling supplements.
Right.
But I mean, they were selling. What is the premise of the Jenny Craig diet? Remind me here.
So with Jenny Craig, and I'm actually surprised that it did expand as quickly as it did, because this shit was not cheap at all. So there were basically three tenets to the Jenny Craig program. One was behavioral education. Okay. Two was quote unquote proper nutrition, whatever that means. Proper nutrition. Proper. You eat with your pinkies up. And exercise. So those were the three tenets, but from my research, it's not really clear to me how never mind. It's somewhat clear to me on how those all get incorporated, but I think the thing that Jenny Craig is most known for is its meal plans.
Right. Okay.
And that's really I think the crux of Jenny Craig. So it's called Jenny's Cuisine, and you paid for a Jenny Craig membership. And then as a member, you were also required to buy the Jenny's Cuisine meal plans. Okay. So these were recipes that were developed according to standards that were actually set by dietitians. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing. Dietitians have historically done some fairly, I don't want to say evil things nutritionally, but have been very into getting people as small as possible, supposedly in the name of health. So that's not necessarily saying this is better than anything else. And it was actually because demanding would be a good word for it. So you were supposed to go to 2 meetings a week.
Oh, wow.
As part of this program.
That's supportive.
Yeah. So 2 meetings a week. One of them was one-to-one, face-to-face with a counselor to kind of like chart your progress, talk about things, and then you would order your installments of your meals.
Okay.
And then the other part of it was in a group setting, and you'd sit and you'd watch a video that had something to do with like psychology or behavior change or, something along those lines, and discuss.
Okay.
So those were that was like how Jenny Craig started. And the big selling points were you don't have to cook, you don't have to go to the grocery store, the food goes in the microwave, and you don't even have to think about it.
Okay.
It's super duper easy. So that was pretty much the gist of the program. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I mean, a lot of things sound familiar to even some of the other diets that we've talked about. So, like when we're talking about the behavioral change piece, I think that that's actually a pretty beneficial
Yes.
tenet that is not frequently found
Mhm.
in other programs, but that reminded me a little bit about noom.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Like, right? Like, you
Mhm.
can change your psychology and mindset around food, which you can.
Yes. Can you do it by watching a video once a week? Maybe not.
I mean, it's definitely the work that comes from the conversation post video.
Yes. Well, assuming that there's a good conversation. But yeah.
Were they like one of the first? Like, when did like microwave meals like really come about? Like, were they one of like the first that was like a diet based? Because I know Weight Watchers eventually had like their frozen meals, like that would have the points right on them, so you didn't have to think about the point system when you were. So it made it super easy
Yeah.
to buy their meals, but they weren't required as part of Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like Weight Watchers kind of saw the success that Jenny Craig was having with the boxed meals and then like kind of jumped on that.
I do think that's what happened. And Nutrisystem also was a contemporary of Jenny Craig. And from what I was reading in research, there was a lot out there about how folks lost more weight on Jenny Craig. They had more success in that way with Jenny Craig, and Jenny Craig was doing better in terms of revenue than Weight Watchers was and other popular diet programs were. So I could totally see Weight Watchers seeing that and saying, you know what, we need microwave meals. Let's make this even easier for folks.
And then their selling point would be, you don't need to buy these at Jenny Craig. You have to use their meals.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So they were under like the Nutrisystem umbrella, or were they two totally different things?
They're separate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I definitely remember both items
Yes.
being in my house growing up.
Yes.
Like there was definitely a following of Jenny Craig at some point in my household. There was definitely a following of Nutrisystem at some time in my household. So
yes. And now if you go on the Nutrisystem website, there are Jenny Craig branded options sold through Nutrisystem. So I'm not versed in exactly how that came about. But clearly, since they sold their gym to Nutrisystem back in the 80s, there's definitely been some interaction of the two brands along the line. So that was the way it used to be. Programs definitely evolved.
Ooh, evolution.
Yes. But first, we want to talk about the problems that they encountered in terms of ethics.
Oh, ethics.
Ethics.
It's funny how all of these companies have ethics problems.
Right? Isn't that weird?
There's always some sort of ethical issue.
So remember how I said that advertising was really the big thing that kind of helped spur on Jenny Craig's rapid success? Yeah. Well, in the 1990s, they faced a series of lawsuits, as did the diet industry as a whole, for false advertising.
Oh.
Making false promises around, yes, you can lose weight on this. Yes, you will lose weight on this. You will lose X amount of weight on this. You will keep this weight off. This diet will do this for you. And yeah, the diet industry as a whole came under fire. Jenny Craig found themselves individually targeted by FTC restrictions on what they could and couldn't say in their advertisements. And that kind of continued throughout the 90s. They suffered another major hit in 1997 when Fen-Phen and Redux got recalled by the FDA, because by that time they had actually incorporated Fen-Phen and Redux into their plans and were using external physicians to prescribe it to Jenny Craig members. So for folks who aren't familiar with Fen-Phen and Redux, it was a combo weight loss drug that I believe it was methamphetamine was the primary
pretty sure.
ingredient in it. And it was sold as a weight loss drug and was kind of forced through the approval process. And it wasn't until otherwise healthy teenagers started dying of heart problems that the product was pulled from the shelves.
I mean, this was also the same time when everybody was popping hydroxycut.
That's true. You like dating Jane? So basically the 90s is when Jenny Craig started seeing profits falling. They also had a lot of turmoil in terms of their like corporate leadership. And so like their stocks would fall because investors would lose faith. So the 90s weren't very good to Jenny Craig. They were still definitely making money. They were still one of the top diets out there. They had celebrity endorsements. I still remember the Jenny Craig ads from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But that
what do you remember about them?
I remember there was always, I don't remember why this is, it would always be like a person, it was almost always a woman, and she'd walk out and she always had like a skirt on that was like swooshy, and it was always a white background.
Yes.
Right?
And then she'd kind of do like the turn.
A little turn, yeah. Like
yeah.
swoosh. Yeah. Yep.
Easy breezy.
Yep. Like, look at how airy and happy and swirly you are when you get skinny.
Huh. Who were some of the popular celebrity folks that were with Jenny Craig?
So we messaged about this last night.
I know.
I kind of forgot to dig into it because I thought Kirstie Alley was one.
I think she was Nutrisystem though.
I think Marie Osmond was.
You know what, I'm gonna look.
But I feel like I remember Kirstie Alley going, Jenny!
Well, keep talking.
Okay. Let's see. So their problem just kind of continued into the 2000s with basically the diet industry as a whole, with this like backlash, right? Backlash against the structure of diets, against weight loss as a whole, those kinds of things as well. And so I think it's all kind of been coalescing into this eventual closure of the business. You looking it up.
I'm doing the Google.
The Google.
Let's see. 12 celebrities who look totally different after losing weight on Jenny Craig. Oh, Monica Lewinsky.
Mariah Carey.
It's probably after she had the twins.
Mel B, as in the Spice Girl.
Mm.
Really? I'm learning a lot from this. Who's that?
I don't know who that is. I don't really know who anybody is.
I don't watch like.
I mean, I know Monica Lewinsky.
Well, yeah.
And you know what? I actually remember, was Monica Lewinsky like a? Oh, now I'm going to get an ad for that.
Oh, I hope you in an incognito window.
Nope.
I did all my research in an incognito window last night.
Oh, Jason Alexander. 30 pounds. Mariah Carey. 30 pounds. Funny, it's all 30 pounds.
And it's
30
also
pounds.
people that have the money to spend.
Valerie Bertinelli. That's who I was thinking.
Not Marie Osmond.
Not Marie Osmond. Okay, so this is why I had to figure this out, because yes.
Yep.
Oh,
I remember Queen Latifah. Yep.
And it was Kirstie
Alley. I knew I remembered it.
I really thought she was Nutrisystem.
I think it was Marie Osmond was Nutrisystem, and Kirstie Alley was.
Listen.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
I don't know who that is either.
Oh, Mrs. Huxtable.
Oh. Carrie Fisher. Okay, so they've had a lot of celebrity endorsements, and again, that kind of kept them afloat. Like that was really a big.
Sure, I mean they didn't have Oprah,
right? They didn't have Oprah,
which is why they're going out of business.
Yep. If they just gotten,
I heard that they had asked Oprah.
Really? She was like, "I'm taken."
She's like, "Sorry, I'm peddling some other bullshit right now."
And giving a platform to really
giving a platform
people.
to some other cult.
So anyway, so they've changed the diet. Right? Things have to change with time, just like Weight Watchers has seen, like, I don't know, innumerable iterations of their plan. Jenny Craig changed theirs several times. The current version of it, there's only one meeting a week now, so it's less of a time suck for you. They have 3 meal plan options. They have
like choices.
Yeah. They have the Jenny Craig Simple, the Essential, and then they also have an intermittent fasting style plan called Max Up Weight Loss. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So what are the differences besides the intermittent fasting one? Like,
I think basically how many calories you get to consume
Okay.
a day. Typically, they range from 1,200 to 2,300 calories a day, which is what we're going to see pretty typically in a big box diet. And it's going to depend on your age, your gender, or your sex rather, your activity level, and then how much weight you want.
so essentially, any woman at any age, at any weight, is going to want to eat 1,200
That's
calories.
basically it's like every
Like,
other
I
diet.
don't know if at any of my ages or sizes or weights that I've ever had any diet tell me to eat anything more than 1,200 calories.
No, I haven't either.
I'm like, who are these
Yeah.
people that are getting to eat 1,500 calories a day?
Even today with some of the food tracker apps, they always ask you for your demographics and they're like, we recommend 1,200 calories. I'm like, do you?
God.
That's dumb. There's a lot of criticism of the Jenny Craig meals. A
I don't know
lot. One,
Do they taste good?
that actually didn't
We
seem
should have gotten some. Can you just like buy them? We should have done a taste
not
test.
cheap.
I
That's
mean,
the thing. They're expensive. So that's one of the big things is people are like, these are friggin' expensive. The other thing is they're really lacking nutritively.
really?
Like, they are not giving you complete nutrition, and they're also such small portions that they're not satisfying. And the company admits this. The company actually says these aren't going to fill you up. Make sure you eat lots of fruits and vegetables in addition to these meals to make sure you're not hungry all the
Okay, so I like that they're like, eat fruits and vegetables.
time.
That's good.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm
But-
always trying to find a positive here. Like, great. Fine.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Honestly, side note, I made a pretty tasty dinner last night. And it was a frozen, like, teriyaki chicken meal
Love teriyaki.
from Trader Joe's.
Mhm.
And I made that with some jasmine rice. It was super yummy.
Mm-hmm.
But I had like a little salad beforehand.
Yeah.
What I could have used was some like broccoli or something within the mixture of the food to kind of like round it out a little bit. And that was definitely lacking. So when
Yeah.
I was done eating, I was definitely like, I probably could have, enjoyed a little more. But I was also ready for bed because I ate so late. So anyways, yesterday was a misfire on my dinner. But now I can try it again. Now I know.
Yeah. So that's kind of the other part of the criticism is like the meals really focus on calorie deficit, not necessarily the quality of the calories.
Okay.
And like, let's face it, adding fruits and vegetables isn't necessarily going to remedy the nutritional shortfallings of these meals because there's more to human nutritional needs than just the micronutrients found
Right.
in fruits and vegetables. Like, is there enough protein in there? Probably not.
Fat.
Is there enough? Yeah, fat, carbohydrates. So that's kind of like a really bad problem. And then also, right, the meals are super expensive. And so you're like, okay, so I paid a membership fee. I'm buying all of these meals. And then I still have to go to the grocery store and spend more money on produce so that I don't starve. So the whole like economic thing too. So I did find a breakdown of how much their meals cost.
Okay.
So breakfasts range from $3.49 to $7.29 per serving. Entrees range from $6.09 to $9.39 per serving. Snacks $2.89 to $3.89 per serving. They have these like special recharge bars that you're supposed to eat at the end of your fast on the Max Up Weight Loss program. Those range from $10.99 to $18.99.
With
Yes, and I'll talk about those
is it
in a minute.
filet mignon?
No, it's nut butters and sugar. Yeah.
Okay. For
and then-
$20.
Yes, and then they have dressings that range from 95 cents to 99 cents.
All right. Well, I mean, except for that last one there.
Yeah.
Most of these things are what you would expect to pay. I mean, at this day and age.
Yeah.
At like Dunkin' Donuts or
If you were getting
Starbucks
but if
or
you were going to the grocery store and assembling these meals, you can make a dinner for
But if we're
$3.54
talking about
bucks.
convenience foods,
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like it's not
Mm-hmm.
except for whatever that $20.
Yeah. But here's the
Bananas.
thing, right? If you are going to a fast food chain and spending $8 on food, you're probably going to feel pretty satisfied with that food. You're going to get a significant portion, especially here in the US, right? We're known for our large portions here in the US.
I guess I have to see the portion.
I can tell you the caloric value for them.
I mean,
200 to 300 calories. That's like a snack.
that's a snack.
That's a snack. So like I'm not paying $8 for a snack. I'm not.
No.
It's not happening. The snacks range from 150 to 200 calories. And yeah.
Like, what kind of snacks do they have? It's like raisins.
Pudding.
It's Jello.
Probably.
It's Jello with some Cool Whip on it. Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Sugar-free. But these recharge bars, right? I had to Google the recharge bars.
Yeah.
They were like, you eat these towards the end of your fast before you break your fast because this is going to increase your fat burn.
Oh my God.
Right? So I'm like, okay, cool. What's in this? Methamphetamine? No. Combination of nuts, nut butters, and sweeteners. That's what's in these bars that they're charging nearly $20
So
for.
what are they saying is the science behind it? Because there's always some sort of like, they show you like some sort of video about like how it blue, does
I
these
sure
things.
couldn't find any. I know. And this kind of goes back to their advertising issues that they've had in the past. Yeah. Okay. There's nothing about eating nuts, nut butters, and honey that's going to make your body burn more fat.
No.
In case anybody was wondering.
I mean, it sounds yummy.
It does. I would probably eat the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, not at $20.
Not at $20. I can definitely get that for cheaper. And also, I'm not going to eat it and be like, burning fat while I do this. Like, it's
you know what it makes me think of? You know, in Mean Girls, when
you know, I don't have to finish this sentence.
when she's like,
give another nutrition bar.
Here, eat this bar. And Georgina George is like, okay, what's in this? And she goes, I don't know. It's what the kids in my mom would give the kids to lose weight. But it was like actually a meal, like a weight gain bar, like a nutrition bar.
Is butter a carb?
God. But that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much like Jenny Craig in a nutshell.
Now, did they have during these like group counseling sessions, was there anything that was like similar to Weight Watchers, like a public weigh-in?
So I think that at least initially because you had the 2 sessions a week, I think that was done with your counselor. I don't think it was like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it sounds like the meetings, it almost sounds to me like, and I can't say this with certainty that they definitely got the meeting idea from Weight Watchers, but Weight Watchers predates Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
And that was really what they were known for. And that was what they always said was like the secret to their success was the meetings, the community, that kind of thing. So I think that's a possibility that that's where the meetings originated from. And I definitely see similarities, right? Because when you go to a Weight Watchers meeting, you have a leader who has some topic to discuss with you to help support you in your weight loss. So, you know, a lot of people complain about Jenny Craig in that, like, they give you the meals. And so you aren't really learning about your food decisions. You're not learning anything about nutrition.
Right.
You're not learning any like skills to make eating nutritious foods fit better into your life. And it's really not sustainable. And I think the fact that there's like 1 meeting a week that's not required really, it's kind of like we're offering this really quick fix for you. Here, we'll solve all your problems, but it's not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just another way of micromanaging your calorie intake in a way that could potentially lead to you losing weight. So if that's something that you're looking for, and I can see where the draw of this is, where it's super convenient, where you're not worrying about, like, you just have to pull a meal out and throw it in the microwave, right? And do your thing. And I'm all for that. Hold on. Every time I record a podcast lately, a scammer calls me. So
They know.
it's like now a thing.
I bet it was a weight loss company.
Probably. They probably saw me Googling.
Yep.
And they're like, oh,
are you looking to lose weight?
we have to try to make some money. So why are they closing now? Because it sounds like they were pretty successful.
But at this point in time, I think the combination of the fact that they were continuously losing revenue, and the market just isn't as amenable to, I mean, we can see it with Weight Watchers too. Weight Watchers has been struggling. And I think people just aren't willing to do this type of diet anymore, especially with the younger generations, and the older generations are now shifting to Social Security for their income. They can't afford to be doing this stuff, you know?
They've also already done this diet. So
Exactly.
Except the thing about like Weight Watchers is I still hear people, they're like, well, it worked for me before.
Yes.
Well, it worked for me before. So
Well, I think Weight Watchers also claims to be good for menopausal and postmenopausal women.
Listen, I said to Tina the other day that menopause is like the hottest, pun intended, trend right now in the fitness and wellness industry.
Yeah.
It is very reminiscent of, and I mean, pre and postpartum women and folks who are delivering babies are still a heavily, heavily targeted demographic.
Oh, yeah.
But menopausal folks is like the new prey.
Yeah, for better or worse.
Everybody and their fucking mother is marketing towards perimenopause and menopause.
Yep.
And there's parts of that that's like so great because it's bringing some awareness to something that most people never talk about. But at the same time, it has just, I've now had 2 or 3 over the past month or so, 2 or 3 coaches, quote unquote, connect with me on Instagram.
Yep.
And like they would follow me. And then I, like when people follow me, I always go and like,
let's
check them out.
Who you are. Yeah.
And they're beach body coaches. They're beach body.
I think they would know better.
They're no, because they're getting fucking clever.
Yeah.
There's nothing in, like, I had to dig through the profile to find things but their bio, like they've now learned how to write their Instagram bios. So, and all of these were like, I support women in perimenopause and menopause live their best lives, or
those are like the key words
that menopause belly or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they actually seem like legit coaches.
Yeah.
And even the DMs are sneakier now. But also, like, why are you looking to connect with a personal trainer who also works with?
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you why. Because they're going to sell you on, you don't have to write your own programs anymore. Your business just got so much easier. Right. Because I've had one try that with me before. Yeah. You don't have to write your own nutrition plans anymore. I'm like, I'm not a dietitian, so I don't anyway.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, so I can see where, I can see where this plan would have been very successful in terms, if we're defining success as a quick weight loss.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I can see the 80s in particular being a boom time for something like this.
And the 90s.
Absolutely. Because you think about like what that, like the 80s career woman, right? With the giant shoulder pads, the kids coming home from school, letting themselves in because both parents were working for kind of like, the first time on a large scale in US history. So like, this is like the prime time to start marketing. You can lose weight easily. Microwave your dinner.
You can make dinner for the rest of your family. Yeah. And this is easy to make for yourself. Because I think that's something else that comes up a lot in the diet world is when women are on diets and they're like, well, now I'm making I'm making something for the kids, I'm making something for my partner, and then I'm making something for myself.
Yep. And these came in the mail. What's more convenient than that? Yeah. So I think that is a huge contributor to the success. Like this was very revolutionary and really appealed to a need at that time. And now there are so many other options out there. I mean, like here in the North Shore alone, like we've got nutritious meal delivery services.
Yeah, it's true.
Not a diet, but you're getting a well-balanced meal created by a dietitian / chef delivered to your house nice and hot for you, or
Mhm.
like just heat it up. And also, folks aren't looking for cardboard tasting food
No.
anymore. They're looking big sustainable change. That's why Noom does as well as Noom
Mhm.
does. This isn't appealing to this generation of dieters.
Well, and I think that there's also, so I think part of the problem for like Weight Watchers is they keep trying to rebrand as like, we're not a diet,
Yeah.
but they're always going to be associated with a diet.
Yeah.
Whereas new diets that are coming out have
Yeah.
never been associated as being a diet. So it's much, they don't have to rebrand.
Yeah.
They can just lie from the get go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so people don't, it does appear like it's something revolutionary.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about it, like I view like the traditional target audience of diets like this as women in their 30s and 40s. Well, today's women in their 30s and 40s watched their moms do Weight Watchers, watched their moms do Jenny Craig, and they don't
Also
want that shit, you know. Have done it in the past, exactly, and they're like, you're not getting me on this again. I've seen this happen, so I think that's part of it too.
So did we find out if they sold, like if they've been bought out by some other company, or if they're just like cutting their losses and checking out?
That I didn't actually get to research because I went to bed.
Oh, you know, sleep's important.
It is. I had to be up at 5:30 today. I wasn't happy about it. But they're closing.
They're closing.
They're closing. Sound of taps for Jenny Craig.
I don't think they're deserving of taps.
No, you're right. Wah,
If-
wah.
If I had if I had a party favor to blow?
Mhm.
Is that what a party favor sounds like?
Sure. It sounds like, was it Beaker from the Muppets? I did come across this really like bizarre side story.
Oh.
So I guess at some point in the 90s, Jenny Craig had like fallen asleep on the couch or something, and the TV like startled her, and she woke up and clenched her mouth so hard that she like damaged the muscles in her jaw.
Oh my God.
And actually like couldn't talk for several years.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
Jenny
never-
Craig, I'm sorry that happened to you.
I guess, and there's like been tons of features on like Jenny Craig overcoming the inability to speak. Like I had very interesting and also like horrifying.
That is definitely horrifying.
Mhm.
I'm sorry that happened to her.
Yeah.
And you know what? It does sound like for her, she did start this with good intentions.
Yeah, and I think Weight Watchers started with good intentions.
I don't think so.
You don't?
Did you ever watch Mad Men? When Betty Draper goes to Weight Watchers?
But that's a dramatization.
No, I can feel it.
No,
in
it's
my
real.
bones. It's real. Had you ever been to a Weight Watchers meeting?
Yes, the
Okay.
one iteration. But I don't know that what's her face there like initially had bad intentions. I think is that she saw the ability to profit. I think her intentions shifted. But I think initially she was just like, let's just get together in a living room and talk about starving ourselves.
And then shame each other.
Yes. Well, that's what works.
I mean, it's true. Shame.
Yeah. But it does seem like these people were genuinely interested, because you know when they started formulating the diet, they actually had an advisory board that consisted of registered dietitians. Like they wanted to do it above board, and they wanted to do it based on what the science was back then. I think the problem is that the science back then, not that it's not now, was based on an incredible amount of bias and fat phobia.
Yeah.
And you know what? And sexism too.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else for women to talk about.
Yeah. Right. First thing, what diet are you on?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, see you later, Jenny Craig.
Yeah. Or maybe not, depending on how the disposition of that sale is.
Don't let the door hit you. Well, you know, I would actually love if anybody has been listening and you have any experience with this diet that
how
you
was
might
the food?
that you would want to share with us. And then we could even share it with other folks anonymously, or if you want to just share your name.
Do you want to shout it from the rooftops? We can do that.
Let us know. And email us strongandsimplepodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, I think that's all the attention I really want to give to
That's all she wrote.
yet another cardboard shit snack.
Yeah. That's all I wrote.
Did you write murder?
I don't know. Can you misread any of this? Should be the word murder.
Probably.
Probably. Are you looking?
Yeah.
That says throughout.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.